There is nothing more frustrating than someone who takes my hard-earned work and claims it as theirs or copies everything that I do. As a small business owner for almost 3 years now, I've had my fair share of encounters with copycats and thieves, in addition to borderline stalking and impersonation. So if you've ever experienced this or you're currently going through it, I just want to let you know you're not alone, and if this is happening to you, it's actually a good thing and you'll learn about why in this video. I'm also going to share the experiences I've had, how I approach it, and how I deal with it. And if you decide not to watch this all the way through, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that you are the talent and no one can ever be you. So keep on going and don't let anything get in your way. So let's just get into this. And the first thing I want to talk about is how I myself have actually stolen someone's art before. And I think it's so important that I share this story with you so that you can see that not everyone has bad intentions and some people just truthfully are ignorant. When you find out that someone is copying or stealing from you, it's very easy to lash out at them and let emotions get the best of us. But if you really stop to think about it before you react, you can have a much easier experience. So let me share why it's so important to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like many others, when I first started my business, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I had no one there to help me and guide me, so everything was trial and error for me. I was learning through YouTube and blogs and the internet and things like that, so I truthfully had no guidance other than my own judgment. And so when I finally came up with my business name, it was time for me to make a logo. I had absolutely no experience in graphic design whatsoever. I wasn't artistic or anything like that. I had a hard time being creative and making a logo from scratch for my business. And of course, I didn't have the money to pay someone to make it for me, so I did what any naive, aspiring business owner would do. I headed over to the internet and started Googling artwork for my logo. I came across a pretty floral design that I really liked, and so I slapped my name on it and called it my logo. And truthfully, I thought anything on Google was fair game, you guys. I really didn't know any better and I had no ill intentions to steal from anyone. And so for the first month or two of my business, I used this logo and called it mine, even though it was someone else's art. And I'm not above admitting that I was wrong, you guys. This is absolutely not okay. You can't just take a random piece of art and call it yours. And who knows, maybe someone watching this video has done this too, and now they know that it's not okay and it can help prevent repeating my mistakes. And the artist of that artwork that I stole didn't reach out to me or anything like that, but I soon realized that what I had done was not okay. And that's because by then I had started creating my own designs and I thought to myself, what if someone had Googled something and for some reason my art came up and they just decided to steal it and use it as their own? How would I feel if someone had taken my hard work that I created and just slapped their name on it and pretended like it was theirs? It would probably feel really shitty and I would think that person was scummy for doing that. And that's when it clicked for me that I needed to change my logo and create something from scratch and not just steal someone else's work. And I know you're probably thinking like, duh, that's common sense, but you guys, it really isn't. Like a lot of people don't know that you can't just take random pictures off the internet and use them. But I digress, and the point is that I was ignorant. But I'm really glad that I did that because I was able to learn and see the flip side. And so when someone copies me, I'm able to approach it a lot differently now. And really quickly, I know there's probably a lot of new small business owners here. So if you are struggling to create a logo, I want to share with you a super easy hack that can help you create a logo from scratch. If you're currently in need of a logo for your small business, but you're really not that creative or you have a hard time coming up with designs, or maybe you just need some inspiration, here's a great place to look. This is Design.com's logo maker tool and it is super easy to use. All you have to do is type in some keywords that you want your logo to contain and it's going to prompt you with so many different ideas for your logo. And if you find one you like, you can even go in there and edit it a little bit more and customize it to your liking. And fun fact, Design.com actually helped me come up with my logo that I use today. But Design.com also offers so many other tools that will be super helpful for your business. And another example of one of those great tools is the AI business name generator. And a little tip that I learned from my business is that I actually use this sometimes to come up with product names. And again, all you have to do is type in some keywords and it's going to generate so many different options for you. You can customize it a little bit more by changing the length and style of the business name. And I love that you can click on a business name and right underneath it'll prompt you with some logo ideas of what it'll look like. And you can check out Design.com for free today and I will have that linked in the description for you guys. I hope someone found that helpful, and anyways, back to the video. So now that you know I have stolen art before, I'm now going to share my experiences with people that have stolen from me or copied me, impersonated me, and borderline stalked me. And then I'm going to share how to approach this because 90% of the time it has worked. I think I'll start off strong and tell you about the time that this girl was seriously borderline stalking me. I'm talking copying my every single move, watching all my videos and recreating them in her own voice, copying all the products that I come out with, my logo, my setup, everything, you guys. It was truthfully creepy at that point because that takes it a step from stealing and copying. It was very much stalker behavior. And I'm not exaggerating, you guys. You can play a video of mine and put it next to hers and it was the exact same things that I was saying. Or another example of this creepy behavior, like every single video was copied. As soon as I put out like a boyfriend packs my order video, the following day or the following week, she would put out the exact same video. And I'm not saying I own that type of video where your boyfriend packs your order. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that every single type of video I would make, she would replicate it. And in the following order, if that makes sense. It was extreme. And it wasn't even just like social media stuff that she was copying. It was down to like my product descriptions and things on my website that was literally copy and pasted. And even things like my link in bio stuff, my bio on my Instagram, like exact word for word copy and pasted. The same exact video descriptions and hashtags, like it was extreme, you guys. That was one of the most extreme cases that I've had, and I talked about this in another video where it was just straight up almost stalking. It was really creepy behavior. It was just very, very uncomfortable, and I had even reached out to this person asking them to stop, and they didn't listen. They just kept copying me. In second place to these extreme measures is another girl that almost takes the cake who completely copied my entire brand. I'm not even kidding. Like it was literally copy and paste my entire brand setup, everything. It was so creepy. The previous girl did copy a couple of my products. Nothing too crazy though. You could definitely tell that she took a lot of inspiration from me though. But this girl that I'm talking about now copy and pasted my products, my designs. And it's like she went to these extra measures to copy me because she didn't even sell cups, for example, and she would copy one of my cups, like copy and pasted. She sold watch bands, so it had nothing to do with cups or magnetic bookmarks, for example. And it's like she was going out of her way to sell the same exact things as me. And again, there's nothing wrong with her selling cups or magnetic bookmarks. It's just the fact that she was like an accessory brand for watches and bracelets and things like that, like a jewelry brand. And she went out of her way to sell cups and magnetic bookmarks that were my designs, if that makes sense. And even though I don't have to explain myself, I always feel the need to justify this to other people because they think I'm probably just being a snob, like, oh, everyone wants to be me. It's like, no, it's just the facts are there. You know what I mean? And that's actually another very important point I wanted to make is that no one knows what you're going through unless they've been through it. So I want you to know you're not crazy. You're not a snob. You are absolutely valid. It took me a long time to accept that. So I hope hearing that made you feel better. Another experience I had is that someone was just straight up impersonating me on a Facebook page before I had a Facebook. They were reposting all of my videos pretending to be me and actually scamming people. And they were charging like, I don't know, I would think it was like $10 a month or something like that, but who knows how many people signed up for that. And that one was really, really shitty because it's like, okay, it's one thing if like people are stealing from me and copying me, whatever, but like now you're scamming other innocent people and that just felt really, really bad. And so that one definitely does take the cake because it's like now you're using my name to scam other people. And that was a really stressful time for me, and especially like knowing there was nothing I can do. I tried to report it and it just wasn't working out, and eventually it did get resolved. This experience happened pretty early on when I first started my business, and even though it wasn't like a huge thing, it does have some significance because it almost stopped me in my tracks. And so I want to help someone else prevent this from happening to them or let you know what to do if it does ever happen. So this happened right before I went viral, and so my videos were starting to get a little bit more traction. I had this like pink dino sticker that was really popular product in my shop. And it was just like any other video. I was packing an order and this dino sticker happened to be in that order, and someone commented under that video. And there was a girl who had commented that I had stolen her design. And I remember this like it was yesterday. She even stitched my video and said, wow, like imagine coming on TikTok and seeing that a business has stolen your own designs when you're a small artist, this. And so I was extremely confused. I took action immediately. Like I took the sticker down and everything because I didn't know that this was someone's art. And at that point, I was still outsourcing designs, but I always made sure that the designs were commercial use. And so I thought like, crap, this one might have just slipped through the cracks and I didn't realize. But long story short, I felt so bad and I wanted to make the situation right immediately. And mind you, this girl was young. She was almost like a teenager, I want to say. I don't know exactly how old she was, but I would say, give or take, she was probably 18 at the time. And she was coming on strong. And again, I felt horrible. I felt so bad. It was not my intention to steal from her. I thought it was okay for commercial use. I got it from Canva. And I was letting her know all this, so we can come to a resolution. And as we were having this conversation, I started to get a little skeptical because I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, there's no way. Like, I made sure that this was for commercial use. I would not use something without double checking. And she was claiming that she had the trademark for the design and all these different things. And basically what I think she was trying to do is get her 15 minutes of fame, because that video that she commented on had already started to go viral. And so she wanted the credit for the design, even though it was very clear as day, not the same exact dino. And it's like, you would know your own artwork too. So this was definitely a scam. And I did catch on pretty quick because I actually went into Canva, found the design, and saw that I had a commercial use license. So essentially this girl was trying to scam me, and not that I was almost going to fall for it or anything, but I did take the design down and I put it back up when I found out that she was in fact a scammer. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you double check and make sure that if you're going to use any, designs, make sure that you have the correct licenses and that it's for commercial use. So yeah, you guys, a lot of not so fun things have happened to me, but I'm going to share with you one more experience because it's going to be important for when I talk about how to approach these situations. So this is another case of a typical copycat. This small business owner has copied things from product descriptions, store policies, word for word Instagram bio with emojis, YouTube thumbnails, some content, packaging, and other things like that. Again, I could put these things side by side and they are literally the exact same. There's no denying that this person has seen me or knows who I am. They were even following me on TikTok at one point, so they're very aware that I exist. And even though this situation wasn't the most extreme case that I've experienced, when I confronted this copycat, their response changed everything for me. And I'll deep dive into their response in the next section of this video because their response was one of the worst I've ever gotten. But basically what I took away from this most recent experience is that you can copy me all you want. You can steal from me all you want, but I will always be one step ahead. Because unlike you, the talent comes from within. I don't have to go searching for it. I don't feel the need to go steal and copy other people and take their work to claim as my own. And so if you're watching this video, which you probably are, I just want to say thank you because you made me realize something that took me years to figure out. It's that I win. I always win. You know why? Because I'm not competing against anyone else. I'm competing against me. I have no interest in what anyone has going on. These copycats, the people that cheat and steal from others, will never be you. And that's your power because these people are very clearly threatened and jealous of your ability to be your own authentic and genuine unique self. And no one will ever take that from you no matter how hard they try. So now I want to talk about how I approach these situations and how you can apply this in your own life. First and foremost, because I have been through this myself, I made a mistake too. I was once ignorant. I always try to approach these situations with grace and understanding. Because some people may simply just not know you guys and they might not have bad intentions. And even when these people do have bad intentions, I always handle it respectfully and kindly. I always start out by saying, hi, it's been brought to my attention that some things have been copied or stolen from me. And I always make sure to say that it's been brought to my attention because 90% of the time it has. All of my amazing supporters are always looking out for me and I get DMs all the time about people who have copied or stolen from me. And I appreciate you guys so much for looking out for me and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And so when I say that it's been brought to my attention, I'm not talking I found you and this looks similar. It's like, no, people have brought this to my attention because you are clearly making it look like my branding or whatever the case may be. And then I'll maybe point out specific products or things that have been copy and pasted or plagiarized or whatever. And I always like to sympathize, you guys, because again, we don't know what these people's intentions are. And so I say things like, I've made mistakes too. I was once there and I know what it's like. And then I'll follow that by maybe saying, but this is not okay. This is stealing and you can't just take someone's work. And I would really appreciate if you could take this down or change this or something like that. And you guys, you'll be so surprised that 90% of the time this works. The responses that I get are apologetic and so kind, and they basically just explain that, they really love my brand and they took too much inspiration, and that's okay, it happens. And they usually do learn from their mistake, you guys, because sometimes it is just an honest mistake. And I always let them know, I say, I have no intention of exposing you or anything like that. I truly just want this to stop, because some people just love to blast people and start drama instead of just reaching out to them privately, even though these people shouldn't be doing that in the first place. That's not the point. And whether you're a small business owner or a content creator and this is happening to you, I highly, highly recommend always reaching out to the person privately first. And always try to handle it privately and professionally behind the scenes. And again, about 90% of the time, the responses that I get are always so kind and apologetic and understanding. But the most recent experience that I had that I talked about a little bit earlier did not get that kind of response. It was the first time that someone had gotten really defensive and tried to gaslight me into thinking I was wrong. And in my opinion, it was a very condescending response. And so this is how I handled it and how you should handle it if you ever get a response like that. It's okay. That's their prerogative if they want to behave that way, and you don't have to stoop to their level. But it is absolutely okay and valid for you to defend yourself. In this case, I responded by sending a bunch of screenshots that were clearly copy or plagiarized. And I followed that up by saying, so is this a coincidence? Now, I will say I don't like that response. I feel that I was being a bit snarky here, and I think emotions got the best of me. And I feel like that wasn't appropriate. And again, I'm sharing this so that you guys can learn from my mistakes and what I would have done differently. But I feel like the rest of the response was okay because I'm not standing down. I'm still being respectful, but I'm being firm. I'm basically saying, no, this is not okay. You're not taking accountability. And there is very clearly a lot of evidence that you're doing something wrong. And I basically just let them know that this is extremely disappointing, but I hope you do better and stop this. And they responded with more excuses and victim mentality. And so that's where I drew the line. I let it be right there and I didn't respond anymore. When the proof is in the pudding and someone doesn't want to take accountability, don't waste your time on them. There's no point. I left it at that, and sure enough, I was blocked the next day. At least you tried, and if they keep copying you, some people truly have no shame, and just keep it moving, keep it pushing, because these people are not going to get in your way. And in the past, I have always just let things go. I really don't believe in calling people out. I feel like it's really bad energy. And truthfully, I just want to keep the peace. I have no time for drama or anything like that. So if they're copying minor things like product descriptions, content, whatever, things like that, it's not that big of a deal. I just try to let it go, let it be. It is what it is, and it's just not worth my time. There's a big but here now, because if it's original art or something that I created from scratch, I feel like that's a different story. And again, I've never done this. I've never had to call anyone out. But if someone was continuously stealing my art after I've told them many times to please stop, I feel like there it is valid for me to call them out. And here's why. If they're scamming my art, they are 100% capable of scamming their customers. And I'm sure if people were made aware of it, they would not want to support a scammer. So that's probably the only instance where I would call someone out. And apart from I feel like it's bad energy to call someone out, I feel like it's going to bring a bad look upon my business. I don't want my business to revolve around drama. I want my business to be a positive and uplifting experience. Okay, so I know that the tone of this video was a little bit sad, but now I have some really good news for you guys. I know this is not something that you're going to want to hear, but if you're going through this right now, you are on the right path. If someone is copying you or stealing from you, it is a really good sign and indicator of growth. This means that you are becoming successful. If people are copying you or stealing from you, it means that something is working. But with the continuation of growth, you have to know that it only gets worse from here. I hate to be negative, you guys, but it is realistic. You have to know so many more people are going to start copying you and stealing from you. It is the price you must pay in order to be successful and grow. Honestly, I have gotten used to it. It does take some time, but I am almost numb to the fact that people copy and steal from me. And every time someone DMs me to let me know, I am disappointed, but I'm not surprised. And I want to say like 90% of the time now, I don't even waste my time on it. If people are reposting my videos and stealing, my content, whatever, it's just not worth my time. And like I said, I'm very thankful for the last experience I had with that small business owner because it brought me a lot of peace. And also because of the way that I responded, I choose to be better. I choose to do better. And this goes for everyone that I have ever reached out to. I could have easily exposed so many people, but I choose not to. And I'm really proud of myself for that, you guys, because it is not always easy. Sometimes it is extremely frustrating and you just want to curse and, call them out. And the fact that I don't constantly reminds me that I choose peace every day and I choose growth and abundance and happiness. And I am secure in myself where I don't even feel the need to do that. And trust me when I say it wasn't always like that. It is so hard to fight those urges sometimes, but trust me, with time, you will get there. I know it is so hard to deal with this, you guys. Trust me, I've been there. It's hard to let go of control. But at the end of the day, you have to know you cannot control another person. The only person you can control is you and how you react. And if you give too much of your attention to this, if you react and you get upset, you are giving away your energy. So choose wisely what you react to and protect that energy. But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to share my experiences and my advice with you because I struggled with this alone. I had no one to talk to or no one to turn to about this. And I don't mean I didn't have support. I do. I have very loving people around me. I just didn't have anyone that could relate to it or understand what I was going through. And that can feel lonely sometimes, even when you're surrounded by loving people. So if this video helped you in any way, or if you made it this far, please comment a purple heart. And thank you so much for listening. And I really, really love hearing that I've helped you guys. It gives me purpose to keep going. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video. And make sure to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more content, and I will see you in the next one.